Tyson, and you know it. You hit me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Today we delve into the saga where Mike Tyson, the embodiment of pugilistic prowess, clashed with a figure whose reputation transcended the confines of the squared circle. Cast your minds back to the vibrant era of 1986 within the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden. Here, a youthful Iron Mike engaged in combat with Mitch Green, a man whose fists were as notorious on the streets of New York as they were within the ropes. Yet, the narrative of this encounter spiraled into realms far removed from the regulated bouts of boxing, culminating in a brutal confrontation on the streets of Harlem. The fallout was as dramatic as the personalities involved, Tyson nursing a fractured arm and Green marred by a tapestry of battle scars, his eye swollen shut, his visage adorned with contusions, and his nose bearing the mark of their nocturnal duel. I invite you to remain with us till the end, and if the spirit of this tale strikes a chord, please leave us a like and subscribe.
Merchant Mitch Blood Green is the other half. What does he bring to the dance?
Well, if he doesn't pose a real threat to Tyson, he definitely poses a challenge. He's definitely the toughest character that Tyson has been put in with yet. And by that I mean just a tough guy off the street. How tough? Well, he asked to fight Mike Tyson.
We rewind to the electric atmosphere of the mid-1980s, an era when the boxing world was under the spell of a 19-year-old phenomenon named Mike Tyson. With the ferocity of a tempest, Tyson carved a path of destruction through the ranks, leaving a wake of defeated adversaries. By March of that pivotal year, his record was a flawless one, all 19 bouts ending with his opponents on the canvas. The frequency of his fights was staggering, with mere days separating one from the next. Then came a pivotal moment in Tyson's meteoric rise. Nearly 2 months following his demolition of Steve Zowski, Tyson faced James "Quick" Tillis. For the first time as a professional, Tyson was pushed to the limits of endurance, battling through the full 10 rounds.
It will be interesting to see how Mike reacts to this. Closing with a flurry. The bell is going to sound.
This test of stamina and skill ended with Tyson's hand raised in victory, securing a unanimous decision. This bout not only showcased Tyson's raw power, but also his resilience and ability to dominate in the ring over the distance, a crucial evolution in his journey to boxing supremacy.
Disappointed are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved, and I'm confident if I wanted to, I could have knocked them out.
For the first time, Tyson didn't win by knockout. This unexpected twist sent a wave of excitement through the heavyweight division, giving other fighters a glimpse of hope. Although Tyson's streak of knockouts had hit a bump, this moment was just the beginning of many more thrilling battles in his boxing journey. Despite the aura of invincibility slightly dimmed, Tyson's ring presence remained magnetic, drawing warriors from across the globe, eager to test their mettle against the force of nature that was Kid Dynamite. The chance to fight Tyson promised big rewards, attracting the boldest fighters. Mitch Green was one of them, lured by the promise of fame and money.
Look like a man that's capable of having a title fight. Look at me good. Yeah. I said my name Mitch Blood Green, that ain't no joke. My Tyson used to drink purple, and I still drink coke. Yeah. I love all y'all.
Hailing from the gritty streets of Detroit, Mitch Green was as notorious for his street brawls and brushes with the law as he was for his exploits within the squared circle. Straddling the worlds of prize fighting and street law, Green's prowess wasn't just talk. His fists did the convincing, racking up an impressive streak of 16 consecutive victories. Among these triumphs was a notable conquest over the formidable Floyd Jumbo Cummings in 1983, a win that echoed through the division. However, the ascent encountered turbulence in 1985 when Green clashed with Trevor Berbick for the United States Boxing Association title, a bout that ended in Green's first professional setback over 12 grueling rounds. Undeterred, Green bounced back, notching victories against Purcell Davis and Young Lewis, setting the stage for a high-stakes showdown with Tyson. The roots of their rivalry ran deep, tracing back to their youth in Brooklyn, where affiliations to opposing gangs sowed the seeds of a burgeoning feud. The animosity between Mike and Mitch was personal, a vendetta fueled by a history of street-level skirmishes. With Tyson in his sights, Green saw a golden opportunity to not only avenge past slights, but also to dethrone Tyson under the glaring lights of public scrutiny. Leveraging the media to his advantage, Green launched a verbal assault, utilizing television and video messages to goad Tyson, his words laced with contempt and challenge. This was a chance to settle old scores, and Green's relentless trash talk eventually paved the way to the confrontation he sought, setting the stage for a clash that was as much about honor as it was about the sport.
I call him Cotton Mike. Cotton nail, toilet paper, he tooted fruity, and I'm gonna kick his booty. Don't no man kiss no man in the mouth. And don't no man got the nerve to get on TV looking all big and gruesome and ugly and get on TV talking about my Pepsi. Yes, he talking what's the Daffy Duck.
Merely a handful of days following his encounter with Tillis, the boxing world buzzed with the announcement of Tyson's next challenge. The stage was set for a showdown with Mitch "Blood" Green, who edged Tyson by a single rank in the WBC. The legendary Madison Square Garden was to play host to this titanic clash on the 20th of May. Yet, beneath the surface of this eagerly anticipated matchup lay a stark contrast in financial stakes. Tyson, the burgeoning juggernaut of the division, was slated to pocket $250,000, while Green, despite his superior ranking, was earmarked a comparatively modest sum of $30,000. The disparity did not sit well with Green, who, on the eve of battle, teetered on the brink of withdrawal, demanding a re-evaluation of his compensation. The situation was tense until Ross Greenberg from HBO stepped in. He reminded Green about the big opportunity he had. A chance to fight for the WBC heavyweight title, which was a huge deal beyond just the money. Hearing this, Green changed his mind. He decided to go ahead with the fight, motivated by the chance to make a name for himself in boxing history.
And Mike Tyson, traditionally, no robe, no socks. He says it makes him feel like a warrior, makes him feel like a gladiator. And Mitchell Green now making his way down the hallway, and it's a very short walk up to the ring here.
The fight with Green was nothing like Tyson's strategic match with Tillis. While Tillis fought with the hope of winning, Green looked like he was just trying to make it through the fight without being overwhelmed by Tyson's powerful attacks. As the fight commenced, it played out in a fashion many had foreseen. Tyson, a dynamo of ferocity, maintained a low stance, coiling and unleashing with the lethal precision of a predator, his explosive surges leaving Green, the taller yet defensively lax opponent, floundering in his wake. Green's strategy teetered between offense and desperate defense, as he grappled with Tyson in an attempt to stave off the barrage of crushing blows. Yet, Tyson, ever the alpha in the ring, not only dominated the proceedings, but also savored the contest, his confidence manifesting in the occasional jibe and taunt aimed at Green. It was a display of not just physical superiority, but psychological warfare.
In fact, we talked to him about that. Tyson's talking to Mitch now.
During the fight, Tyson was in charge most of the time, controlling the action like a pro. But even with all his skill, he couldn't knock Green down. Green's moments of aggression were few and far between, though, his efforts largely eclipsed by Tyson's relentless assault. In the end, the judges were unanimous in their verdict, awarding Tyson a decisive victory by points, a testament to his control and command throughout the bout.
This is your first fight here in the big room at the Garden. Were you satisfied with it?
Almost definitely. I don't want to sound rudish or anything. I didn't want to knock him out or anything. I wanted to put a lot of pressure on him and make him decide himself whether to give up or not. He wouldn't get knocked out. If he get hit on the chin, he can't see the punching, and he would say, "Oh, I didn't see the punch, I got knocked out." So I left it up to himself, and as I must say, I must take my hat off. He's a very tough individual.
Green never really accepted the loss to Tyson, always believing he was the better fighter. He felt the unfair payment was a big distraction and the cause of his lackluster performance. Over time, as Tyson became a worldwide star, their disagreement grew more personal, with harsh words exchanged as Tyson's success continued to grow.
So one more thing I want to tell you about Tyson. And remember, listen to me good. He got knocked out in Greens County, on green grass, on green leaves, on the green trees, on the green grass. What is my last name?
Green.
My last name is Green. It's a sign, it's an omen. Michelle Cicely Tyson, your mind. Homo!
In the dimly lit streets of Harlem, as the clock struck 4 a.m., the sequel to Tyson and Green's rivalry unfolded, not under the bright lights of the squared circle, but in the raw, unscripted theater of the urban night. This encounter, far removed from the regulated combat of their first meeting, was a visceral, untamed confrontation that would forever mark the annals of their tumultuous relationship. 2 years had elapsed since their initial clash, and Tyson had ascended to the zenith of boxing, claiming the mantle of the undisputed heavyweight champion. On the early morning of August 23, 1988, Tyson was heading to Dapper Dan's, a famous clothing store, just to pick up a special $850 white leather jacket with "Don't Believe the Hype" from Public Enemy on it. It was in this quiet Harlem setting that Green, having heard Tyson was there, burst in full of anger, like a storm suddenly hitting. With no shirt on and full of rage, Green started throwing insults at Tyson, making the atmosphere tense and charged, like a storm was about to break. Green had good reason to be angry with Tyson. He felt cheated out of money, a problem he blamed on famous boxing promoter Don King. But there was more to it than just wanting another fight with Tyson for the money. Green was also a known figure in New York's tough street gangs, and he took Tyson's late-night visit to Harlem as a personal insult. Tyson, having spent the earlier part of the night reveling in the city's vibrant nightlife, found himself in an unexpected and volatile situation. In his memoir, Undisputed Truth, Tyson reflects on this period, portraying himself as striving to embody the image of a polished, endorsement-attracting champion, a stark contrast to the raw intensity he was known for in the ring. Faced with Green's aggressive tirade, Tyson, with a surprising calmness, attempted to diffuse the tension. "Now, Mitch," Tyson began, his voice steady, "you really need to think about what you're doing here. This isn't good for you, not in the long run. Remember, we've already settled this in the ring, and it didn't go your way. It's best if you just walk away now." Despite Tyson's composed plea, Green's fury only escalated, his words a barrage of anger and challenge. It was at this point, as the confrontation teetered on the edge of physicality, that Tyson rose, poised and ready, a silent testament to the imminent escalation that hung in the air like a charged storm.
I was nervous. I haven't had a fight, like a street fight, in 7 years. And I was scared, and I was getting paranoid because it was so close. It was getting close to me. I mean, so I suspended myself.
Regardless of the odds that a 22-year-old Tyson, possibly under the influence, delivered such a composed address on the streets at 4 a.m., what ensued was an unmistakable outburst of violence.
Who threw the first punch here?
He did. He sucker punched me. Because he's with his friends, you know, and when he hit me, I said I couldn't get a chance to get to him like I wanted to, because everybody was like feeling me, you know, holding me, like so he could get away from me, and so he get away, and he ran from me. And I was trying to get to him, you know.
Tyson unleashed a direct right punch to Green's face, effectively shutting Green's left eye and inflicting a laceration on his nose that necessitated 5 stitches.
Man, he ran from me like a little sissy. He ran from me, and by that time his friends grabbed me, like trying to break it up, but they were like sucker punching me at the same time. I was trying to get to him.
Tyson asserts that the altercation began when Green tore his shirt pocket, compelling him to respond in kind.
It happened so fast, and the only thing, I was very upset at the time they ripped my shirt out of my pocket. I was totally upset. The fact that he came back again after he tried it and he was successful. I mean, I had no other choice but to defend myself.
He's a young, dumb knucklehead that got to ask his wife for permission to do whatever he do. You understand what I'm trying to say?
According to Green, Tyson rotated his rings inward to protect them before blindsiding him with a sudden punch.
Mitch kept ranting and raving, and Mike stood up because he had made contact. And Mike said, "Look, do not play me close. In other words, back off. Don't get that close to me." So then Mitch grabbed his shirt and apparently went for his pocket because his wallet fell out. Mitch Green threw the first blow. Now, Mike Tyson did what any man, President of the United States, he punched him in the chest, right around, this area right here.
Okay.
And, I mean, Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. He's not going to have that from anyone. After Mike defended himself, Mitch didn't look too pretty, needless to say. I have pictures of Mike beating on Mitch when he was on the floor. He's beating on him, grabbing because Mitch is grabbing on him. I have a picture of after Mike had hit him with a right because you couldn't see it when he hit him. Sort of like the Spinks punch. You never really got that good angle, but Mike, Mitch was on his back, legs up in the air like this. And all you saw was his legs and he's laid out.
In the shadowy aftermath of that Harlem confrontation, Tyson was gripped by a chilling fear that his fists had delivered a fatal blow to Green. A wave of relief washed over him upon discovering that Green had survived the encounter. However, victory in the streets came at a cost. Tyson's right hand bore the scars of battle, a hairline fracture that threw a wrench into the gears of his professional commitments. His much-anticipated title defense against Britain's Frank Bruno was thrust into limbo, ultimately delayed to the following year, as Tyson nursed his wounds. The echoes of their street brawl lingered long after the physical scars had healed. Green, seeking retribution through the legal system, filed a staggering $25 million lawsuit against Tyson in 1997, nearly a decade following their nocturnal skirmish. The courtroom saga culminated in a verdict that fell short of Green's aspirations, with a mere $45,000 awarded to him, a sum insufficient to cover the expenses of his legal battle. Decades later, Tyson, on his podcast, voiced an apology for the incident, a gesture that sought to close the book on a saga marked by violence, legal wrangling, and eventual reconciliation. While Green may never have triumphed over Tyson within the confines of the ring or the unpredictable arena of the streets, his impact on Tyson's storied career is undeniable. The tumultuous clash between Tyson and Green stands out as a legendary encounter, etching itself into the annals of boxing lore as one of the sport's most notorious street altercations.